Welcome everyone to use the camera on Pixel 8 Pro. Let's start by opening up the camera app, and in here we see this camera icon, that's the photo mode, and then we see this cam recorder, that's the video mode. Tap to switch between the photo and video modes. Once you've selected, for example, the photo mode, all other options you see here are different ways of taking photos, and in video, these are all different ways of taking videos. Let's tap on the camera, and then let's tap on photo. From here, to take a picture, tap and release this white circle. This is the shutter button. You can also click and release volume down to take a picture, or click and release volume up. You will see here these different zoom modes. You can either tap to change the zoom modes, or where you see the zoom mode, swipe across with your finger. So I'll try that one more time. Swipe across with your finger, and you can see if we swipe to the right, we will lower the zoom, and if we swipe to the left, we will increase the zoom like this. There we go, we have our custom zoom selected. If we want to, let's say turn on flash, or, change some options, we're going to tap on the settings here. And make sure this is in the general settings. Under more light, it's set here to night sight. And what this will do is if, the scene is dark, let's say you're outside, it's dark, it will automatically turn on this night sight feature, which will help with low light photos. But if we just want a flash, tap the flash icon, and that will turn on the flash. If you don't manually set this, then it will use the night sight instead of using the flash to take your pictures. So if we have this selected, and I take a picture, you can see it's going to use the flash to capture the shot. If we go back to either night sight or turning this off entirely, we have top shot. What this does is it's going to take a photo and a little video together. This is like the live photo feature on iPhone, if you've ever used that before. So if I turn on the top shot, you can see a little description, takes a photo and a short video. So let's use it. I'm going to tap the shutter button to take the picture. And so we have, the picture here, but we also have a play button. And you can see it's just recorded a little short video. I personally turn this off, but maybe you want it on. Timer. This is a countdown for taking a picture. So if we set a timer, and then we just tap the shutter button, you can see there's a countdown, and the picture will be taken. You will also notice it will do a little flash, and that flash indicates that a second has passed. So let's say you rest your phone down, and you click the shutter button, we'll do the timer, and then it will take the picture. You can also put your palm out like this to start the timer. So it's not working currently. The phone I'm using to record is kind of blocking my palm from being recognized, but when we switch to camera lens, you'll be able to see that you can use the palm, and so I will demonstrate that later. Macro focus. This is used for if you're taking a photo of something extremely close. So let's say I have this object here and I just put it right next to the camera. You can see automatically it goes into this macro mode to get a really close-up shot. And if this is not on, then it will not, you can see the focus will be really bad, so you won't be able to capture the image. But if it is on, it will automatically take the close-up shot. You can either have this set to auto, which is recommended. You can have this always on, which is not recommended. Or you can turn this one off if you find it annoying. Then we see here ratio. So full image will capture essentially everything that the camera sensor sees. If you tap this to wide crop, you'll get this different aspect ratio, but it is just zooming in to the 4:3 image. Let's now tap this icon here. This allows you to flip the camera. So you have the front camera sensor and the same shutter button to take a picture, the same slide to change zoom. And in the settings, the only thing different is we have the option to face retouch. So this will just smooth your face. We also have a front flash called selfie illumination. So if I take a picture with this, it kind of like brightens the screen so your face is a little bit brighter. This is useful if it's like pitch black and you just want, your face to be illuminated. And then let me show you the timer. So if I set the timer and I use my palm, there we go. You can see that time it's working. Boom. And after the timer, it will take the shot. Now we have the different modes here. So portrait mode, this is going to get the subject or the foreground, which is me, and then blur the background. So I'm going to turn off my timer. And so if we take a picture here, what it's going to do is going to get the foreground, which is me, and then it's going to blur the background. So this is a regular image. You can see the background, like the wallpaper. But here you can see it's blurred. That's what the portrait mode does. It doesn't have to be humans. It can be other objects as well, like a pet. In the settings here, everything is the same. Long exposure. This is essentially, imagine you are trying to take a picture, but you have a ton of people walking past you. Long exposure will take a picture for a couple of seconds. So everything that stays still will be captured, but everything that moves will just look like a blur. So you would just have to take the picture there. Then we have action pan. And so what this does is it will add, you can see here, our background to the foreground. You can see an idea of what it does here. The object does need to be actively moving, otherwise it will not work. So I don't really have a good example of this, but we will try. So I've got my phone here, and I'm just going to track my moving phone. Let's see what it does. So you can see it kind of like smooths out the background. Would I use this feature? Well, it's up to you at the end of the day. If we swipe across here, this is night sight. So in the photo mode, it will automatically detect if the image requires the night sight feature. But if you set night sight manually, every picture will take longer to capture, and so it will have more detail overall. So I tap the shutter button here. You can see it took a second to take the picture, and it will just help with brightness and overall quality. I would not recommend using this unless it's like the regular mode is not doing a good job. Then we have here panorama. So if we tap the shutter button and then we start moving our phone to the right, it will capture just a larger picture than what you would usually get. So if we take a look at the preview, you can see it's a wider picture. Now you would need to, make sure that the thing you're taking a picture of isn't close, otherwise it doesn't look great. But that just allows you to get one massive wide picture of a large scenery. You may have noticed if we are in the photo mode and I tap on the settings, we will have this Pro option. This will not appear for most modes. In here, we can increase the resolution to 50 megapixels. If you do this, it will increase the quality of your picture, but you can see it takes about 1.5 to 2 seconds to snap the picture. So if the object is moving and you have the 50 megapixel mode on, then the picture won't turn out good. And if you want to shoot in RAW, which means if you always edit your photos professionally, turn on RAW, and that will increase the file size, but it will capture more information so you can manipulate your photos. And lens selection, if you want to manually select, if you're using the regular sensor, the ultra wide, or the telephoto, you can do that, or you can have it set to auto. I'd recommend auto unless there is a use case you can find for manually setting the lens. You also have here these 3 lines, and this allows you to adjust things like the brightness, your shadows, white balance, and you can adjust all of this, and then when you take the picture it will apply those changes. I would only play around with this stuff unless you know what you're doing. If you want to reset all, just tap on the reset. They also put a reset button here as well to reset settings. And if we want to go out of this menu, either swipe down where you see the white bar, or just tap the back button. And now let's move over to the video mode. So in here, we tap on video, and then we tap the shutter button. This will record a video. This circle allows you to take a photo while the video is recording. You can also switch between all the camera lenses mid-recording as well. So we can swipe across with the same thing we did for taking photos. The pause button, if you tap this, it will pause your recording, and then we can resume at any time. And if we tap the middle button, it will stop the recording. If we tap on this flip icon here, we can flip to the front camera like this. You cannot flip the camera mid-recording, unlike with, for example, a Samsung phone. So that's just something to keep in mind. If we go to the settings here, selfie illumination or flash, that was discussed in the photo part of the video. Resolution. By default, this is set to 1080p. If you tap 4K, this will increase the video quality of your recordings. Frames per second, the higher this is, the smoother the video will look. So I'd personally set this to 60. You have here HDR. This makes your videos look more realistic because the bright stuff will look really bright and the dark stuff will look really dark. The caveat is you can't record 10-bit HDR if you set the resolution and frames to the highest, as you can see there. But if you turn this one on, it will show you an example. You can see this is a lot brighter here, this isn't. In fact, this video is recorded in 10-bit HDR, and you probably haven't seen any other videos like mine with the brightness, so that gives you an idea of what would be captured. Speech enhancement, what this will do is it will just remove any winds or any background noise which is in your video. So if you're speaking, it will just make everything clearer. And so use the shutter button to record. The same applies for the front. But we have these different modes here as well. So the blur mode, this allows you to record videos and have the subject, let's say a phone or someone else, be the foreground, and it will blur the background. So if we start recording here, the phone is in the foreground and the whole background is blurred out. This is not perfect, but if you want that cinematic camera look, then you'll get that with this mode. We have the pan video. You can see a preview of what this does. When you turn this one on, it will reduce the camera shake while you are, moving your phone around. So if we start the recording here, then I just move my phone around like this. So you can see I'm shaking quite a lot. If we look at the preview here, take a look. You can see it's removed most of the shake. So it moves to left and right, but it's not going up and down like this. So this makes everything nice and smooth. Then we have the slow motion here. If we tap on the shutter button, it's going to record, and you can see the speed, so a quarter speed, which means for every second that passes in real life, the slow motion will take 4 times longer, so 4 seconds. And you can see a preview of that here. I recorded 18 seconds, but it's done 1 minute 16. And we'll tap on stop when we are done. We can go into the settings and we can turn on or off the flash. And we can also tap the speed here. Speed again. And you can set from a quarter to an eighth. An eighth is even slower than a quarter. So for every 1 second that passes, 8 seconds will be put in the video. And then we have time lapse here. This speeds up the video. So let's say for every second that passes in real life, maybe 0.2 seconds passes in the video. And you can also change here under auto the speed, 5, 10, 30, etc. If you want to change advanced settings to the camera, tap into the settings and then tap on more settings. Regardless if you came from the photo or video section, we can see the general camera settings here, advanced camera settings here, and composition, photo and video options. This stuff you probably want to change. This stuff, I'd probably leave as it is, unless something is bugging you. Framing hints, I would leave this one on. If you want a grid to help better align your pictures, you can tap this to turn it on. When you take selfies, it will flip the preview. And what that does is it will show, what people would see you look like. But if you want it to, look how you would see in the preview or in the mirror, you can turn that one on. You can't flip photos after they are taken in a Photos app. You would have to get a third-party app to do that. Then we have video stabilization. If you're on a tripod, you'd want to turn this off. Otherwise, leave it on. And audio zoom. When I'm recording, I don't like this because what it will do is, let's say if you zoom in while recording a video and you're speaking, it will make you sound quieter. So I personally turn this one off. With that being said, this should cover everything. If you have any questions, please do leave a comment. Please leave a like as well, because this was quite hard on my vocal cords. With that being said, if you would like to help support the channel, please do check the description. Bye bye.